The truth about learning skills later in life. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9-to-9 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com. The truth about learning new skills later in life is the episode that's going to help you, especially if you are at that point in your career where you've been doing it for a while, you have this desire to do something else, and you're just afraid to actually learn a new skill because you don't think you're going to look like you've always looked, being the expert that you are. But I am here to tell you that if you just invest a few minutes in the episode, then you're going to truly understand the truth about learning new skills later in life, and then also some of the benefits that you will actually get to learning these new skills faster than you actually thought. And it's actually inspired also by me, yours truly, wanting to learn a new thing to cook. As most of you know, or you probably already know because you've been listening for a while, through life changes and being a new single dad and all this kind of stuff, I am really pouring into perfecting my cooking. And because this is one of those things. So not sometimes, before you can perfect anything, you actually have to start. Once you start, then you progress. And once you progress, then you can allow yourself to work on perfection. But this guy, the recovering perfectionist who spent most of my life getting the good grades, getting the validation, and thinking that was the only way to do things, well, this is a new phase of life. So let me take and share my 20 years of experience that I have been living in focused in Spain. I really want you to know that, even after 20 years, there's still new things that I want to learn and things that I want to do, very much in the similar way that if you're in your corporate role, you have this curiosity. Yes, you're doing your role. Yes, you're doing your job, but high achievers want to continue to achieve highly. So I got this crazy idea to learn about how to make paella because I'm already in this phase. So like I said, like just in corporate life, you've got your new opportunities that come along, whether you're just coming out of college or you are in a new company right now. Well, you see the opportunities. It's the corporate allure. That's the thing that you want to continue to do. And you have career prospects. You can continue to move up the org chart, or you can move to the side of the org chart in a new department, in a new line of business, as I used to call it. And you get amazing benefits, especially when you're working for world-class organizations. That's just the way it works, right? And so as you continue to move along and you're learning new skills like later in life, and it happens, right? There are already people that have done it. And whether that's somebody who is a grandparent who's playing around with AI, or somebody who's in your 60s and you're already a new founder for a funded company, or maybe you using the savings that you had from corporate and crushing your targets and all that stuff. Or you know what? There's even 40-year-olds that are going back to medical school or going to medical school for the first time. So all you need to do is look around. There are people that are constantly learning new skills and applying them. Well, I just happen to want to learn how to make paella. So here's the thing, and without overcomplicating it, because sometimes it's very easy to want to make a mountain out of a molehill, meaning that you want to learn a new skill, but there's something holding you back. So you know what I did? I made it really, really simple to get started to perfecting paellas. Oh, I like that alliteration, perfecting paellas. Number one, because, it's just what high achievers do. You come up with a plan. So the plan was get started. What was the date? Because I like time-bound things. When you are time-bound, then it pushes you to a specific moment in time where you are going to take action. You may not want to, but once you do that, you go ahead and take action. So I decided on a random Saturday that I was going to start making paella. Well, fortunately for me, I also, I was able to make sure that I had a guide along the way. So someone who knew how to make paellas and who has made many, many, many of these paellas, like a lot. And so I found my guide. I knew I knew the date. I knew the person that was going to help me, and we came up with a game plan. Exactly what was it? Like, how was I going to know that I was going to get the experience? Well, I was in charge of some of the ingredients that were going on to this particular paella. And this paella included, there was some meat. There was also some shellfish. There were vegetables, and I didn't get to put the oil on the paella, as they call, like the paella pan. Say that 5 times real fast. So I knew exactly once I got these specific tasks completed and I was involved, then I knew that I was becoming closer to even making and being involved in making the very first paella. Now, just like in real life, there were all kinds of things going on. The weather turned really crazy. It was a decent day, but then the rain started, and this was outside. So and also doing this paella on an open fire, not in a contained tank with gas. Like this was like outside in the elements. And so there were also kids running all over the place, right? So we had to stay focused, had to keep the kids out of the fire. And then also too, there was the whole thing of, well, just the elements, the wind that was going all over the place. So there were lots of distractions along the way, just like, well, you know what, if you're in corporate, you've got all these different things that you want to be able to achieve, new skills that you want to learn. You have your commitments, you have your presentations that you have to do, you have your client meetings, you have your escalations, you have events that you want to attend with your loved ones, with your family, with your spouse, with your kids. There's always something going on. Oh, and by the way, you should also be taking care of yourself, a lot of self-care. But it's very easily to get distracted. So if I think about it and trying to keep the spirit of this learning new skills, keep it simple, keep it tight, and not get in our own head, here's the thing. When I think about this specific day and wanting to be able to move forward to becoming a perfect paella maker, which I'll get there eventually, I had to get started. Now, was this the paella that I made 100%? No, it wasn't. So there's some dejection there, but was it a paella experience that I participated in 100%? Absolutely. Took directions. When I had my opportunity, I made the most of it. I was spinning all of the ingredients that were in the paella and things like that. But at the end of the day, and here's what I want you to understand about the truth about learning new skills later in life. I didn't do it myself, but you know what? I was no longer stuck in this thought of paralysis analysis. I actually now got started. And so understanding that progress is so much more important than perfection, it just helps me to understand. And I want you to understand that there's never a wrong time to learn a new skill. And especially if you're later in life. And I say later in life, anything over 50. Right? Or at 40, late 40s, because we have this tendency to think, well, later in life is only at 80 or 90, or your Colonel Sanders starting KFC. Well, it doesn't need to be that specific, that dramatic. Just do the little things. For instance, are you thinking about making your role at your 9 to 9 optional? If you've been holding back and you want to learn a new skill, I'm going to suggest that you look at the skills that you already have and use one of those skills to get started, to take the first step or the next step. Be clear on what your North Star is and get started. Find a guide and get started. The worst thing you can do for yourself is look back 10, 20 years from now and say, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, I should have. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. And there's so many benefits that you will gain for yourself, for your loved ones by learning that new skill, taking that first step or even that next step, because it's on you. I want you to look back and say, wow, I'm glad I started at that moment in time, because that moment in time is beginning to change the trajectory of your life and the life of your loved ones. Don't get stuck. Learn that skill. It's never too late. Look at me, learning paellas in post 50. So here you go. Listen, I know that you know someone that's stuck doing something that they want to do. They want to learn a new skill, but they feel like it's a little bit too late in life, or they feel like there's something holding them back. Share this episode with them. It's a simple paella, but you know what? It's helping me to tackle bigger things that are going to make more positive impact on my life and the life of others that I love. So with that, like I said, share the episode, go from theory to practice, make this real. And you know what? While you're doing that, guess where I'll be? I'll be right here preparing for the next episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very, very much. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9 to 9 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.